We have a major update in the Nolan Wells case, and this is coming straight from the Mississippi Coast Guard correcting themselves in what's been a major point of contention and key hot button for a lot of the online conspiracy theories from the racists who can't understand why Nolan's friends allegedly didn't report him missing. And that goes back to the Coast Guard saying they never got a call from his friends. Well, they have now come out and corrected themselves officially, saying they did, in fact, receive a call from Nolan's friends on the night of July 4th. Here's the story. This is courtesy of Mississippi Television on Facebook. The U.S. Coast Guard has corrected its previous statement, confirming it did receive a call from friends of Nolan Wells on the night of July 4th. Man, you can't make this up. Petty Officer Cheyenne Basaruto of the Mississippi of the U.S. Coast Guard Heartland District originally told Mississippi Television by email that the Coast Guard was not notified about Wells' disappearance until 12:26 p.m. on July 5th, when the Jackson County Sheriff's Office requested assistance. However, at 11:48 a.m. today, Basaruto sent a follow-up email clarifying that this was not the first contact. According to an updated statement, quote, it has been confirmed that a friend of the team contacted the Coast Guard on the night of July 4th at around 11 p.m. However, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office is the lead agency, and the Coast Guard assistance was not requested until 12:26 p.m. July 5th, 2026. Basruto, I know I'm butchering that last name, also stated that no Coast Guard assistance was requested during that initial July 4th notification. Officials say they cannot release additional details about the call, including who made it or what was reported, because the case remains under investigation. And this, my friends, is why I say you cannot jump to conclusions in high-profile cases, or frankly, any case involving an unalive person, much less one with a very, very racially sensitive makeup like this, in a state like Mississippi where they're just itching to make something into something it's not. Y'all stay blessed out there.
The cover up is real. Now, all of a sudden, the Coast Guards claim that Nolan's friends, we're going to put that in quotations, actually contacted them on the night of July 4th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I see going on in the media right now is they're spreading confusion. That's what they're doing. Ironically, there's an audio that's going viral right now of Nolan's alleged friends reporting to dispatchers that the boat is sinking. And what it sounds like is Nolan may be in the background and his alleged friends sound frantic. Some audio specialists have even came out and said that it sounds like they're saying, is he dead, in the background? Could that audio be fake? Just like the so-called call to law enforcement or Coast Guards that they're trying to now say exist. So all of a sudden, all these audios are coming out. When this thing is supposed to be going to a grand jury and all evidence is supposed to be secured. Ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to win this in the court of public opinion. The more we learn about this case, the stranger it gets. I'm going to tell you this right now. Nolan Wells was a blood sacrifice. I said that from the very beginning. And the reason he was sacrificed is exactly what we got going on right now. And that's mass hysteria. It's manipulation. It's deflection. It's propaganda. Nolan Wells was a ritual killing. His death was planned. The way the media is reacting, what we're seeing, everything that's being rolled out is all occultic. They have used magic. They have used spells. They have performed a blood sacrifice ritual on Nolan to distract the masses from the downfall of Babylon. There's so many things going on in the world right now, but we have to uncover this. I have to show you all without a shot of a doubt that the media is pushing confusion on purpose. The alleged FBI is involved and nobody has been arrested yet. There has been no arrest warrants to the first medical examiner. You mean to tell me that Mississippi police was this negligent and the FBI haven't gotten any search warrants to find out exactly what's going on in Mississippi? No, this was all planned. Now, we're going to get into it. We got to chop it up, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to tell y'all like this. The cover-up is real, but we're going to uncover a whole lot of truth. Let's get to it.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's jump right into this. Salute to everybody joining the chat. I see Taylor Smith in the building. What's going on? Empress is in the house. Shamia. Spiritual Healing is in the building. Leslie is in the house. Tania, Lisa Marie, Wanda Austin. Q Brown, what up, Q? I'm glad to have y'all present. Listen, brothers and sisters. Those devils over there are on code. They're covering this thing up big time. And I mean, I believe it's being done on a federal level. I'm talking about, this ain't just no ordinary local cover-up. For those just joining, they're now claiming, the Coast Guards are claiming that there was a call, a 911 call. Now, of course, what's in that call, they're not releasing to the public. So how do we know at any given moment they're not going to stage a fake call to cover themselves? How did they get that wrong? That they just randomly found the body when whole time there was a call. How are they going to cover that up? Now, we got to get into this, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot happening with this Nolan Wells case. There's been some shocking audio that was released, and we're going to talk about that audio along with a few other things that are surfacing.
Are you
Yes,
on
we were
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right. Is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We were in
Okay.
17 foot of water. We were in 31 foot of water.
All right. Have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. He says he thinks.
Now, if they said right there they did not need the United States Coast Guard, why are the Coast Guards now making official statements that they were contacted? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I pay attention to details like this. This is not making no sense. We have an audio leaked saying that they don't need a Coast Guard. But the Coast Guards over there in Mississippi just made an official statement, a documented statement, said, oh, yeah, we were contacted that night. Ladies and gentlemen, this just gets stranger and stranger. It's like the more details that come out about this, it points to them trying to spread confusion. And confusion is of the devil. This is when we got to start withdrawing somewhat until an outcome is made. Because it's too many lies. There's too many contradictions in this case at this point. And it just does not make any logical sense why there hasn't been any search warrants, any arrests made. None of it makes sense. The whole world knows that these alleged friends, they murdered Nolan. They covered it up. And now that the whole world is paying attention to it, they're trying everything in their power to confuse the masses.
Thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in. But that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat. And
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that, yeah, Jerry, yeah. He said,
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So
Oh,
I'm guessing that they may have figured it out. Cause
right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like, we're going.
How doesn't he know how far the water's coming up? He sounds mad distracted. The dispatcher asked him a simple question. How far is the water coming up? I don't know. We're just sinking.
Down there.
Are you
Yes,
on
we were
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island.
And so this is strange right here. And I'm going to tell you what I believe this is. And I'm going to agree with this lady right here. It was a clan initiation. It was a sacrifice. It was a ritual performed on July 4th. What is it? America's 250 year of freedom. And this was done on Horn Island. Ritual, blood sacrifice all over it.
The more I learn about the Nolan Wells case, the more I'm convinced that it was a clan initiation ritual. One kid's parent is a judge, another kid's parent is a lawyer, and another kid's parent works in the jail. Happens in Mississippi on the 250th anniversary of our country, not to mention all the black people that have been found hanging from trees and the big group of white masked men marching on the Capitol. This is all clan activity. The racism in this country disgusts me, and it's a big reason why I'm no contact with most of my family. I don't talk about it on here, but I have a black brother, and my mother raised him to believe that racism isn't real. I pretty much started fighting with my family and going no contact with them when Kyle Kaepernick took a knee, because that's when all of them started feeling comfortable in their racist skin.
In Mississippi, 2 black teenagers were murdered in 1964. They were kidnapped in Meadville, Mississippi. They were taken and beaten in a barn, and they both were thrown bound, one to a Jeep chassis, the other one to rail ties, and while alive were thrown over into the old river. 19 years old. Had done absolutely nothing.
What I need you all to understand is this is a normal ritual in Mississippi. This is something that happens. These disgusting brute beasts murdered Nolan. And they're spreading nothing but confusion to the point where the Hegelian dialectica is beginning to work on people. And what it's doing is ideological. What it's called really is not Hegelian dialect, ideological subversion, where they're telling you so many different stories that don't make sense. In order for us to forget that they murdered Nolan and that this country has a history of murdering our people in the very same ritualistic fashion. They murdered that young man. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
After hearing the results of the two private autopsies for Nolan Wells, why the fuck isn't Dr. Stacy, whatever the fuck her name is, Stacy Turner, why the fuck is she not being arrested?
Why the FBI are not going to Mississippi to find out where the rest of Nolan Wells' abdominal parts are? His throat was not turned in. I mean, I honestly don't believe that it's going to be justice for Nolan at this point. I don't. I know that we got our hopes up thinking that some justice is going to be served. This system already showed us what it is. And honestly, once we see that justice ain't going to be served, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Mississippi going to be burning. I don't know if the race war going to kick off. But I'm telling you, you heard this here first from Nubreed Global Truth. They are not going to solve this murder. You heard it here first. They are going, listen, there's going to take the Most High holding these people accountable, because whatever happened to Nolan, it's a mass cover-up and it's part of the ritual. There's something extremely satanic going on with this case. And I believe the FBI's involvement is to help cover it up more. And right now, the psychological war is on. Here it is. This case is supposed to be going to a grand jury, and you got Nolan's alleged friends all on different podcasts. What? What? I want y'all to think about what's happening right now. This thing is turning into a circus. And it's turning into that on purpose. Anybody who's going to spread confusion, they're going to promote them. Whoever is spreading confusion will get promoted. Whoever is coming up with different theories outside of the evidence that's already been presented, they're going to push that in the airwaves, because they're going to try to win people over through public perception to forget about what actually happened to Nolan. They're degrading the minds of the people. Now, what's anything outside of what we know, right? We know that Nolan and these alleged friends went to an island. Nolan didn't come back. These young men came back, they got lawyered up, and they deleted their social media. We know that. We know that that's not something that innocent people do. We know that Nolan showed up unalived. We know that the families of these young men are well connected. Lawyers, doctors, judges, More than likely, all of them are Freemasons. What we do know is that this is a ritual. Based on the evidence we have, we do know that they're on code. Anything outside of that, they're going to run them speculations down to the ground of how Nolan could have died, what could have happened. We all know he died, and everybody around him, they moved suspicious right after. That's what we do know. And no arrests have been made.
And I hear this ain't her first rodeo. I hear every time she do a black person's autopsy, it's never murder. Now, I haven't done extensive research on her. This baby, I'm talking about Nolan Wells. This is beyond murder at this point. It's something very evil and demonic going on here in Mississippi when it comes to his death and hundreds of others. But we focused on Nolan Wells right now. This bitch needs to be in jail for tampering with evidence at the least bit. Why is she not how come she ain't getting arrested? We know she was with him. After hearing the results of...
Listen, I believe that they're organ harvesting. I believe that on the 4th of July, there was a dog whistle, a white supremacist dog whistle blown. You had the white nationalists who were masked up, marching down the streets of DC. Then to add insult to injury, you had several lynchings on July 4th. They tried to call them self-deletions. It's something very sick about Mississippi and what's happening out there. Now, there's a couple videos I want to go to because this thing is really getting strange, y'all. It is getting strange.
Wait. Kendall, where's Kendall? Why am I not seeing Kendall? Kendall, please turn around and show everybody what we're talking about because I'm doing this. Show me occipital.
Occipital's right here. Back ahead.
How
right where your
in
neck
the world out of his whole body is that where the blood pools? I'm not buying it. And I'm not saying this is a homicide. I am saying it. There are a lot of disturbing circumstances surrounding this young man, the star athlete's death, and I am not letting it go. And I don't care how much hate mail you send me. I do not care. Okay, Mobley, what else?
What I want to state is that, and this is based on my experience being involved, examined numerous autopsies and discussed the case and the findings with...
Answer. I don't have the answer. He's got a red mark deep in subcutaneous.
Now, Nancy Grace, she's on the case. You know, this is a felony prosecutor. You know, she has done a lot of work to uncover a lot of unsolved mysteries in the past. And, you know, I don't know if she's coming forth because the elite brung her forth to make it seem as if there's some authenticity going on with, you know, justice for Nolan, with people on their side, because I don't trust her either. I don't trust no main talking head at this point. But we're going to see what the outcome going to be, because this thing is taking some strange turns, ladies and gentlemen.
Just like I said, now the new allegation in the Nolan Wells case is that the medical examiner saw the body. And what did they say that they saw? They said they saw Nolan Wells got beat the fuck up and possibly burned in the face. Yes. Oh, not only that, the medical examiner said that it is very respectful to transport a body.
Okay. So there may be an older clip. We already know that Nolan showed up to DC without his lungs. He showed up to DC without his neck. Parts of his throat was missing. You know, they sent his body off to DC to get a second examination, and his lungs and his throat stayed in Mississippi. His lungs and throat stayed in Mississippi. Meanwhile, there's some more audio surfacing that I want to share with y'all.
Well, it seems as though we may finally be getting answers about what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells. The phone call to Cito was released yesterday, and although the caller appeared panicked and focused on keeping the boat from sinking, there seems to be much more happening in the background. If you listen closely, you can seemingly hear passengers calling Nolan's name, even though the public has been told that Nolan never made it back onto the boat. You can also hear what sounds like someone asking whether he is dead, and another person telling Wyatt to check his chest. There is so much happening in this call, and what we appear to hear does not match the account Warren gave during his interview. This audio may also help answer several major questions. Why did the group suddenly say they no longer needed assistance? Why did we see them leave the boat launch near Eli Jax's home but never saw them return? And why was there a quick detour involving the allegedly sinking boat after they docked, taking it from Jax's house to Fort Bayou? Investigators, either critical details are being overlooked or the public has not been given the complete story. The audio is already authenticated, and if the background statements that I've interpreted are correct, then we are demanding immediate investigation, clear answers, and several arrests. Let's go.
Connect you.
Now, you heard a woman say he's dead, clear as day. Where are the arrests? We heard Wyatt and Nolan arguing. Now we hear a dispatch call where the background has been lifted, and they're calling. They won't even tell you how far the water was seeping up. But they said they don't need a Coast Guard. Then the granddad said, no, they don't need that. Now we hear the audio of them saying somebody asking, is he dead? No arrests were made. Not yet. No search warrants, none of that. You think the FBI don't have this video? You think the FBI don't have this audio right here? You think the FBI don't know what's going on? Listen, they're setting the stage for a cover-up. They're going to try to make it look like, just hear me out what they're going to do. It's obvious they murdered Nolan. I don't know how authentic these videos are. I don't know if they're strategically putting them out, if they are made for TV. We don't know. Listen, when I say the rabbit hole goes deep, these people are master manipulators. They're master manipulators to the point where they could have doctored up some audio and said, hey, release this to the public. Release this to the public so we can start to tell a story. Whatever story we're going to tell, it's going to stick because we put so many lies out there. We put so many different narratives out there. When this thing goes to a grand jury, we can pay some people off behind the scenes, and we're going to go with this narrative, and this is what happened. You know, we're going to make it work for both sides. The media likes to control both sides. This could be AI, but I've seen a lot of creators react to this. It could be AI, but it's been ran through AI. And according to AI, I've watched several videos. According to AI, they don't hear any other AI being used, according to AI. Now, I want y'all to hear this once again.
CETO Assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming?
And he sounds hella distracted. Like something really is going on.
Coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir?
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Well, it seems as though we may finally be getting answers about what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells. The phone call to CETO was released yesterday, and although the caller appeared panicked and focused on keeping the boat from sinking, there seems to be much more happening in the background. If you listen closely, you can seemingly hear passengers calling Nolan's name, even though the public has been told that Nolan never made it back onto the boat. You can also hear what sounds like someone asking whether he is dead, and another person telling Wyatt to check his chest. There is so much happening in this call, and what we appear to hear does not match the account Warren gave during his interview.
Let me tell y'all something. They killed Nolan, and they threw his body off the ship, and the body rolled up on the shore. They killed Nolan. But here's the very, very scary part about it. The real scary part about it is they killed Nolan in front of a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people seen Nolan killed. A lot of people knew Nolan was dead. That whole town knew Nolan was dead before the parents knew. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? That's how this stuff works. The grandpa who was called, he knew. The Coast Guard, they knew a little bit later. Everybody knew. They murdered him in broad daylight. Now I want you to understand something. They murdered Nolan in broad daylight in front of that whole community. Just to show you how wicked they are and how much on code they are. If anything, Mississippi is going to lead the charge for the race war, because they just proved themselves to the global elite that that they are a tight-knit group. They just flexed. They just flexed. The level of white supremacy in Mississippi, where they can get a whole town to be on one accord. And ain't nobody snitching. It's people making threats. But I guarantee they not snitching. It's just like Spoonful of Chocolate. It's just like that movie. And I'm thank y'all for the support. Y'all coming through. Y'all coming through showing a lot of love. I appreciate y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, the whole town know about Nolan's death, y'all. Everybody know about it. They sacrificed him. And the whole community, they're covering it up. Everybody from the police chief to the damn coroner's office to the medical examiners to the families. All of the eyewitnesses are on one accord. Even Nolan's so-called black friends, they are on code. They're on code with them. That's how bad it is. That's how much fear that they got going on out there.
Audio may also help answer several major questions. Why did the group suddenly say they no longer needed assistance? Why did we see them leave the boat launch near Eli Jax's home but never saw them return? And why was there a quick detour involving the allegedly sinking boat after they docked, taking it from Jax's house to Fort Bayou? Investigators, either critical details are being overlooked or the public has not been given the complete story. The audio is already authenticated, and if the background...
So the audio has been authenticated, and I've heard that from multiple sources. So let's rule out AI. It's not AI. The audio you're about to hear is not AI. Now, this is what I'm going to question. We've already questioned the authenticity. It's been authenticated. However, when was this video recorded? We're going to assume that this did happen from a dispatch call and that this is not some Hollywood production stuff. We're going to assume that this just leaked, right? But here is some very daunting information of Nolan Wells' alleged friends asking, is he alive, while doing a dispatch call. Listen.
Statements that I've interpreted are correct, then we are demanding immediate investigation, clear answers, and several arrests. Let's go.
Connected.
You heard, oh my God, Nolan. He's dead? Sure, I think he's dead. He's dead? Oh my God, Nolan. Wow. You know what? I believe that the family knows. Wow, I just got a real serious download, y'all. I want y'all to hear me out. That other dispatch call, right? Notice he's trying to get someone to come fix the boat. And he says they're members, right? They're members. There's somebody that the person making the phone call was trying to get in touch with. And it wasn't the Coast Guard. It was another connection. It was somebody they were trying to get in touch with to help them, perhaps tell them what to do next, help them clean up the scene, help them get rid of the body, what to do with the body. That's what that was about. So that's why the granddad already knew. How the hell the granddad already knew? Granddad said, no, they don't need no help. Those boys was panicking after they murdered Nolan. They was panicking, trying to figure out what to do next. That's what's happening.
Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag
Unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Well, it seems as though we may finally be getting answers about what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells. The phone call to CETO was released yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a shocker. That's supposed to be evidence.
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and this is insane. You have to hear this audio in the beginning where they're calling for the emergency for their bilge pump and they're taking on water. I swear you can hear her say, "Oh my God, is he dead?" and yells Nolan. Listen to the audio.
To connect you.
Cito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the...
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
Wow. And now you got the Coast Guard claiming that there was a phone call. So this is my prediction right here. They're going to try to frame it like it was some type of accident. That's how they're going to frame it. And regardless of what happened, these teenagers lied. Not only did the teenagers lie, law enforcement lied. And I'm finding it very strange we didn't get back toxicology yet. Were there drugs being done? Were they doing drugs out there? Did Nolan get laced? Why was the back of Nolan's head hit? Why did the coroner's office hide Nolan's neck? Why did they cut his throat out and not send it to the second examiner? Did they get high and get into some altercation? They're going to try to find a way to make it look like this was accidental. And it's clear that it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. This is big evidence right here. This is a huge deal, y'all. This is something. And I don't think that they're going to actually bring justice because the cover-up continues.
We now have the full uncut, unedited audio from the Nolan Wells distress call that clearly, in my opinion, incriminates everybody involved. And it was just released July 25th, and the prior one that we had was edited. It wasn't until the Public Information Act was filed by the Mississippi company that owns their news network that we got this audio that I'm going to play for you. Right after this audio was released, the DA came forward saying they're not releasing any more information related to this case. And I find it very suspicious that the first person...
That's right. You said it right. T. Midas, you can't go with accidental after hiding the body. But they're going to try to spin that. Yeah, because, if that was... that audio was authenticated. Nolan was on that ship. Nolan was dead on that boat. They threw Nolan over. There's no doubt about that. They hid the body. They got rid of the body. But the question is, who should be charged with murder other than those 4 young men? I believe there's a lot of people who need to be charged with murder because they were all on code. Let me tell you something. If justice was served, the whole state of Mississippi will be getting raided right now. It'll be a whole new in that part of Mississippi. What is it called? Ocean Spring. It'll be a whole new team sent in. Let me give you an example. If you was hanging out with a buddy who murdered somebody and they called you, right? And you helped them, if you help hide evidence so it wouldn't get out there, you're complicit and you will be guilty of murder too. On the mob movies, yeah, when everybody's complicit, everybody's guilty. On the mob movies, when you get rid of a body, when you murder somebody in a room, they be like, yo, get rid of this. They're all complicit with murder. They're all guilty of murder. Whoever got rid of the body gotta go. Whoever hides evidence gotta go. Yeah, and they got Officer Tatum as a lapdog trying to protect him. I mean, we already know what time it is.
To break this, NBC edited out the first portion of the audio that, in my opinion, is very fucking necessary. This audio was given from the Mississippi Marine Department resources and is uncut and unedited, and it has been heavily verified, and they gave it to one source on July 20th.
So again, the audio is verified once again, and apparently a news station cut out that first portion. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Even the media is in on it.
25th that released everything. And I'm going to play it for you. This audio happens while they're on hold with the tow company, and it was edited out by multiple news stations, and you can clearly hear someone in the background say Nolan's name not once, but twice. Then you also hear an older lady reiterate the words, "Oh my God," as well as again someone says, "Nolan, don't." This evidence alone needs to be put in front of a grand jury immediately. We now have the full uncut, unedited audio from the Nolan Wells distress call that clearly, in my opinion, incriminates everybody involved, and it was just released July 25th.
Wow, wow, wow. Where are the arrests? This cannot be real, man, but it is. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. They got audio released. This is official audio that's released, and nobody was arrested. And you can clearly hear that Nolan was there on that boat, dead. Now imagine if it was a bunch of black folks involved in this situation. Imagine if it was a bunch of usins, and this was the life of a Caucasian boy. It would be all hell breaking loose by now. Every last one of them young men would be under the jail. There would be investigations in the police department. There would be mass arrests made. Hey, but you under the Trump administration. Trump said, get Cash Patel on the case. Hell, we're going to help cover this thing up. This is foul, man. Absolutely, incredibly evil. Incredibly evil. And you really can't make this stuff up.
Okay, so now we finally have audio from the boat where Nolan Wells went missing from, and it does give insight into what was going on after he was left on Horn Island, disappeared, and ultimately passed away.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on.
I don't know why he would be playing music on that. But look at these boys. They sending them all on different podcasts just lying.
I'd say he's pretty hammered. He would slur his words. His movement was slow. For so many people. I mean, boats, they're like on top of each other almost. Like, I mean, it was intense.
Lucas Aviz is a college classmate of Nolan at Southwest Mississippi Community College. He says he went to Horn Island with his family and friends on a different boat and ran into Nolan there.
I'd say he's pretty hammered. He would slur his words. His movement was slow. For so many people. I mean, boats, they're like on.
They claim Nolan was hammered, but they also claim they left him on the island. So if Nolan was hammered, why did they say that Nolan was left there? They say it's not uncommon for anybody to go on that island and leave with somebody else. Not if you brought him there and when you left, he was dusted. Nah, man, I'm not buying that.
They murdered that little boy, man. What Nolan Wells' parents found in his phone confirms beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they murdered that little boy, man. They murder him, and the police, the law enforcement agencies, the judges, coroners, everybody in that city responsible for this investigation is working in cahoots to make sure they get away with it. That little boy was murdered by some powerful people in that city, and they making sure them powerful people don't get held accountable. Nolan Wells' family has retained the services of Benjamin Crump to ensure Nolan gets justice, however that may be. They brought Benjamin Crump in to launch a private investigation into the death of Nolan, because whatever they have seen up until this point, they've seen enough to know they can't trust the local police department. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only option they had if you take the circumstance into consideration. If this does end up being a murder investigation, if Nolan was murdered, one of the suspects, Warren Mama, is a sitting judge in the city. It's a small town. They all grew up together. The police department, the sheriffs, the detectives, people who were investigating this probably is coming in with biases. Oh, nah, Warren wouldn't do no such. Nah, not Ashley's boy. Ashley's boy will do no such thing. What? Wyatt, Eric? Nah, those are good boys. So they're already coming in with a biased eyes and a biased lens. They're going into this assuming these people did nothing wrong and Nolan just got drunk and drowned. Even though every single detail, every single evidence, every single piece of information that has come out has pointed into the opposite direction of that.
You mentioned
It's evident at this point. They took Nolan out, and they took him to that island to sacrifice him to Beelzebub. Powerful people involved. Powerful people involved. Sick, demented people. I'm talking about, look, when 4th of July came, Nolan was to be sacrificed. It was premeditated. He was lured out there. I believe there was times where Nolan started to know something was wrong, tried to leave, tried to escape. They wouldn't give him his phone back. They would not allow Nolan to call anybody on the outside world to let them know what was happening. That's why you heard an issue with Nolan's phone. I'm telling you. That's why there was an issue with his phone, because they did not want nobody on the outside world to know. Once they got him on that island, them boys, they came together collectively and said, yo, we got to get this phone off of him. We got to get this phone off of him so, we can plan this thing appropriately. We don't need him calling anybody. We don't need him getting suspicious. Once we get a hold of that phone, we're going to keep it. This was a rites of passage. Those young men, they're going to be future leaders. They're going to carry on the traditions. It wasn't supposed to blow up like this. They were supposed to be able to do the ritual just like their forefathers did. They were supposed to be able to do the ritual just like the other leaders in that county and city did and get away with it.
I am so happy that Nolan Wells is getting so much attention across the globe, not just nationally, but it breaks my heart that no one talking about Daniel Irving. Now, y'all might ask yourself, who's Daniel Irving? Daniel Irving was a 17-year-old teenage boy, black, in the South, Texas to be specific. He was picked up from his house by his friends, his white friends, to go for a swim, allegedly. And they jumped off of the bridge, according to the survivor, and he drowned. Daniel, who was, again, similar to Nolan Wells, a fit teenage athlete on the swim team. On the swim team. Okay? So that happened in April. Just now in July, the family seeing their first arrest. Because that family, similar to Nolan Wells' family, reported him missing. No one knew where he was. Oh, no, there's no. 5 days later, found his body. And that's when the friend he left with pops up and says, oh, he drowned. Where were you 5 days ago? Where were you when he drowned? What were you doing? Why didn't you call 911? Why didn't you render aid? Why didn't you call his mother? No, he did. He wiped the phone. Sounds familiar. He wiped the phone, threw it somewhere, allegedly, and discarded his other belongings. Now you're in jail for tampering with evidence, but something tells me you should be in jail for more. Because if I'm with my friend and we in a body of water and he's in distress and I survive and he disappears, the first thing I do is call for help. What if he's not gone? How do you know he's gone? But you like legit walk away from that human being in that water. Unless you did it.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. These people are spineless cowards with no type of heart. They don't have a soul. When they conduct these rituals, their whole objective is getting away with it and harvesting the power from it and gaining their rite of passage. They don't look at us as human beings. They don't see us as human beings. You know, they conduct these rituals. They go into the Masonic Lodge the following week, and they go through the rituals there. They get crowned. You know, they get a pat on the back from the most powerful people in that community, in that city. This is how this stuff works. People gotta understand it's an underworld to America. Yeah. These people, they sacrifice our people. They harvest their organs. They cover up murders. They lie. They cheat. They steal. They kill. And when they outnumber us in these communities, then they pretty much look at us as test subjects. They be behind the scenes gambling, betting on us, setting up traps, talking real crazy about us, poisoning us. Let me tell you something. These people just aren't safe to be around. Let's just keep it 1,000. When they came over here to the shores of America, anybody who got close to them, like the natives, anybody got close to them got smallpox blankets, got, you know what I mean, murdered, snuffed out. Any deals they make, they're going to renege on that. There's some real occult Freemasonic activities going on in these states. And they pick the most gifted, talented, star athlete, and they make an example out of them because why? It's a lot of power and energy they're gaining. These people are, I'm talking about, listen, the same people that's sitting up in the churches, the fire departments, the police department, they the same ones with cloaks and daggers in the damn woods, butt ass naked, frolicking amongst a damn campfire together. These are sodomite blood drinking devils. I don't even know how, no other way to put it to y'all. It's in their DNA. They're jealous of melanated people because we're closer to the Most High, because we come from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because we are the original man and the original woman. They are jealous. And they're spineless cowards, always looking to set us into traps, always looking to lure us into death. They got murder in their eyes. Talking about brute beasts. It ain't no other way around it. And they have times where they sacrifice. And they do this all the way up through the Beltane ritual, which is in May. All the way from May through July 4th, going into June, they're doing sacrifices. And they do these rituals to not only curb public perception, but they do it to cause confusion and more divide. Telling you, y'all. And they all on code. I seen this video come out where allegedly one of the guys said he's gonna tell all. I think this is BS, but I'm gonna play the video because I heard people talking about this. But let's go.
So this clip right here gets released after the autopsy comes back undetermined for Nolan Wells. Look at this.
The way I see it is they have one of two choices. One, they can make things right, or two, I leak everything.
Why is that music playing in the background? But you got this guy talking about he gonna leak everything. No, he's not. Either they tell what happened or he's gonna leak everything. Well, just tell what happened. I don't know who this guy is, but too many people reacted to that. Listen, these people are on code. They're not leaking nothing. If you're gonna leak something, why warn people? If you don't tell all, leak something. I'm gonna leak all. No, well, tell all. Because they're on code, the whole town on code, because they all Masons. They all tight-knit. They all Klansmen. They all took the initiations. And this ain't even to be political. This is just how America operates. This is just what it is. Nothing more to it.
Them little teenagers act like niggas was born yesterday, man. We weren't born yesterday, fool. You feel me? You came back with your friends. Y'all knew what y'all was doing. Y'all knew where y'all was at. Ain't nobody said nothing about no fight, you feel me? And we heard it was a fight going on, you feel me? And then ain't nobody finna leave their cell phone. Definitely not in this day and age. It's 2026. Teens ain't finna leave their cell phone. That's their lifeline. But I bet you, they know what everybody else did. They know what everybody else said. I bet you everybody else went home. But exactly, they don't know where old boy went. They don't know where he at. They acting like they ain't chill with the dude. They acting like they weren't taking pictures with the dude. They acting like they wasn't his friends or whatever. You feel me? But at the end of the day, you feel me? You gotta watch folks like that, and definitely on that day particular. You feel me? Because on certain days and certain holidays, you feel me, that you think that it's meant for you, which is not meant for you. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it to the forefront, nigga. I'm gonna go ahead and be real. It ain't for you. You just celebrate because you want to do something. You feel what I'm saying? And it's okay to celebrate because you want to do something. You feel me? But you create your own stuff. Create your own holidays. You ain't got to create something that was already brought up and you just got raised into it. With that being said, they did what they did to that little boy because it's a ritual. You feel me? They families on down the line, been doing it, man. They've been doing this for years. This ain't nothing new. You feel what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. And they got boats for a reason. You feel me? They got their little islands they go to for a reason. Don't play dumb to the fact. Just because you in their circle and you got out of the black community and you moved to, or you got a chance to go, you feel me, and you trying to mingle with the other race, and you feel me, they don't want you around. They don't want you around. Yeah, you made it out. Yeah, you got your life together to go live in a decent neighborhood, but that neighborhood wasn't even meant for you. It wasn't even meant for you. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we ain't even gonna get on that topic because that topic is a whole different discussion. You feel me? Hey, but at the end of the day, you still got people, man. All the stuff that they done did to us ain't too far away. You feel me? It ain't too far away. You feel me? And folks be acting like, oh man, forget about everything. Nah, you can't forget about nothing. That's what they want you to do. They want you to forget. They want you to forget so they can go ahead and redirect your ass somewhere else. You feel me? All right, being crazy. Y'all boy, they wild for that.
I mean, that's the thing, man. It was a 4th of July blood sacrifice ritual, and Nolan wasn't the only young black male that was sacrificed on 4th of July. That's why they were marching like that in DC, because they knew they was flexing that day. They know they had some secret decree. They knew they was going to cover out rituals all across the nation on the 4th of July. Nolan was just the biggest one. They got the most media attention because we just stayed on their neck. Like, hold on now. Nah, this story ain't adding up. The other stories ain't add up either, but the Nolan Wells case has certain, characteristics that it was easier for it to catch steam. And I'm going to say this too, because I have to say this. This is why we're not supposed to celebrate their holidays. Real talk. We're not supposed to. If you honor the law, statutes, and commandments, you're not going to be following no 4th of July. That wasn't our independence anyway. We were still in captivity. 4th of July don't have nothing to do with us. So we damn sure, if you're going to do something on that day, you damn sure don't want to be doing it with the people who know what their holiday is about. They know that they do their rituals on their holiday. They got a movie called Purge Independence Day, where they start purging. Where you think they get this stuff from? And what end up happening is, if you put yourself out there, you open yourself up for spiritual impositions as well as physical impositions. That's why every time it's a major holiday like Halloween, I get online like, y'all, please be careful out there. Because listen, I'm a very down-to-earth person. I understand that, you know, God's people aren't always religious people. If y'all want to go somewhere and do something, my best thing I could do is be like, hey, I'm just going to let y'all know, be safe. Make sure you practicing situational awareness. Go with your instinct. If ever you don't feel in your heart you should go somewhere or do something, pay attention to that little feeling, that little voice that you get when you just don't, you get a gut feeling like, yo, I don't really want to go out tonight. I don't really want to be here or be there. Because 9 times out of 10, that's the Most High warning you that you just don't even belong there. You don't belong there. Because these people are pagans. These Europeans love to rebel on these so-called holidays. They love to rebel on their holidays. That's what they do. They literally grape, cannibalize, sodomize. They do ancestral stuff on their holidays. These people are sick. I need y'all to understand. Every holiday, do your history. Every holiday that the Europeans celebrate throughout history, they all was getting buck nasty in their holidays. Just do your research. It's a simple lookup, a simple search from Christmas to Thanksgiving to Halloween. All of that, listen, all of these perverted weirdos and freaks get buck nasty and murderous and violent on their holidays. It's in their nature for the devil to come out them. These Neanderthals become beasts. They turn into werewolves when the damn moon come up on their holiday. And you damn sure don't want to be the only melanated person around these devils when it's a damn full moon. Like, we cannot forget the nature of the beasts. We cannot forget the nature of Edomites, Esau, the Idumeans, the Vikings. Y'all got to understand. Listen, these YT niggas come from Vladimir the Impaler. These YT niggas is boy, they are the real Neanderthals. I'm talking about so easy a caveman can do it. Werewolves, born with tails, like to cut things open just to see how it works type stuff. Listen to rock and roll music and do acid. And who knows how much blow Nolan's friends was taking that night or that day when they went to that island. They was off the devil's dandruff that whole day. It's one of their holidays. Listen, these people pray to Zeus, white Jesus. They got all kind of demonic things going on in their mind. And then they think they losing their country and their women. And yes, women had something to do with Nolan's death. Stop thinking that these people are okay that you got access to their women. They're not okay with that. And they never will be okay with that. That's why, you want to kind of stay within your own. You want to stay within your own. Now, of course, I got predominantly melanated children, but I got, mixed children too. You know what I'm saying? Not white. But however, I'm not trying to be hypocritical here, but what I am saying is, man, it's best to just stay within your own people. Honestly, it's best to just stay within your own, because you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble just being out here going to different nations. Just to keep it a buck, just to keep it 1,000 with you, it's best to stay within your own. Because I'm going to tell you like this. One thing I do know, no woman is going to understand you like your own women. Brothers, no women are going to understand you like your own women. And that's just as far as I'll go with that. But I'm going to tell y'all, they murdered Nolan. They didn't only murder him. They covered it up. And it is what it is. Now, man, this stuff is coming out, man. It's more and more evidence every single day. And it's the stranger this thing gets. And here's a little fun fact about Ocean Spring, Mississippi. Because listen, in these hotbeds, that's what we're going to call them, these hotbeds for Freemasonic satanic rituals, they always be places where other events take place, where other anomalies take place. Peep this.
I have not seen anybody at all personally make this connection in relation to what happened to Nolan Wells and what those boys allegedly and probably did to him. But those boys, they're not just from like some random area in Mississippi. They're from Ocean Springs. Ocean fucking Springs. The same Ocean Springs that regularly has its middle school and high school students ending their lives because of how bad the bullying is down there, because the people there are so fucking shit. Yeah, that Ocean Springs. Those boys are from Ocean Springs. So to me, that tells me everything I need to know about what the fuck happened here and what his fate really was, no matter how much that town and their families of the alleged perpetrators are like gonna be like fucking protecting them and whatever.
The same Ocean Springs, Mississippi that 13-year-old Aubrey Wyatt ended her life after severe prolonged bullying at a middle school there. Then her mom, Heather Wyatt, files a wrongful death lawsuit against Ocean Springs School District, primarily centering on the fact that nobody did anything after multiple attempts to notify the school. This bullying went on to cyberbullying. And the Chancery Court judge that oversaw that case is the stepmother of one of the boys who was on the boat with Nolan. Judge Ashley Cole, the mom of Warren Hudson, who was on the boat and in that picture with Nolan on the day of the incident. Now, the creator who posted the video that I shared earlier has since taken the video down and made his page private. But before he did that, the comments on that video was very telling, y'all. There were a lot of people in that comment section that had a lot to say about Ocean Springs and how they try to cover everything up, about the rampant amount of nepotism there, not to mention substance abuse amongst the kids. It sounds like this rabbit hole is going to run much deeper than we originally thought. Rest in peace to Aubrey Wyatt. And rest in peace to Nolan Wells, and may his family get the justice that they truly deserve.
See, I'm telling you, these places be hotbeds. They be satanic portals. You know, a lot of cover-ups. I mean, I'm talking about some of these places will be really on some Elm Street type stuff. Damn, Stranger Things got such a dark presence, it's the upside down. Even Samia in the chat, she says that island has dark history. Samia, feel free to share more history on that island. Because I didn't do that much research on Horn Island, but I'm just starting to look into Ocean Springs, where most of these young men were from. And what I can tell you is what the young lady just said right here about nepotism. The nepotism is wild. Everybody's related, everybody's connected. And it is even rumored right now, and I'm seeing this everywhere. Actually, I think it's been confirmed at this point that Nolan Wells was actually related to Ida B. Wells. Now, if that be true, that will point to why he was targeted. It'll point to why he was targeted. And for the record, Nolan is a foundational Black American. His father, that is Nolan Wells' real father, it's been confirmed. It's a simple search to actually find it out. And also, the mother of Nolan Wells, her father is a melanated man, what you would consider a black man. So Nolan actually has deep, rich history to the land. Ida B. Wells' family just came out and said that they were related to Nolan, which would explain what's going on right now. Yup. I'm telling you, the rabbit hole goes deep. Yes, I'm telling you, some of these sacrifices, they be trying to go after bloodlines. They be trying to go after certain bloodlines, they be trying to go after certain heritages. So we got to understand this stuff the rabbit hole is deep, man. It really is. I wonder if I got some of those videos with Ida B. Wells' family coming out, because I've seen people bring it out. I know that I did confirm it earlier that the family did make a post saying that, yes, the history goes back. That's for sure. Here we go.
Y'all, Ida B. Wells' family done came out and said that they some kin to the Nolan Wells family. Oh, my Lord. Don't believe me? Here goes some post. Here go the first one. Stop, pause, read. Other one. Stop, pause, read.
That's right. Hold on. Let me read a little bit of this, right? Gwen Parker is with Dolores Nettles. It says, we have fought for justice in our captivities or capabilities. Captain Dan Wells was the first black deputy sheriff in Jackson County and one of the first in the South. Even the tragic loss of his own son continued fighting for justice despite having the resources we have today. The Jackson County chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was established in 1975 by Leon E. Wells Sr. He and his wife, Addie Wells, were central figures to the local civil rights movement and helped launch the chapter. Now watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Family was protected and served in his community countless ways. Jose Wells, as U.S. Marshal, gave his life protecting and serving the community. The Wells family that you know in Jackson County has always loved the community and welcomed everyone with open arms. Members of our family have served as doctors, nurses, practitioners, law enforcement officers. So listen, could they have targeted Nolan? And we got to read that first paper. Could they have targeted Nolan because it's a power struggle? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Ida B. Wells, how did Ida B. Wells pass? Could they know how powerful Nolan Wells' family is? Could the Masons set around and say, no, they pushed the civil rights. Their bloodline is related. We gotta make a sacrifice. We gotta wipe him out. Because let me tell you, them Masons, them devils be knowing whose bloodline is who. We got to read that first post, right? Let's go back for a second.
Y'all, Ida B. Wells' family done came out and said that they some kin to the Nolan Wells family. Oh, my Lord. Don't believe me? Here goes some post. Here go the first one.
All right, boom. All right, let me read this real quick. We need to read a little bit of this. It says, justice is not new for the Wells name. It is something that has been embedded in our family's DNA. Christine Wansley is doing what her family has done for generations, fighting for justice for her son. Ida B. Wells, a Mississippi native, one of the founders of the NAACP, and dedicated her life to combating prejudice, violence, while advocating for the American community. I'm grateful that a Wells can use a resource another Wells put in place for this very moment. And then it's going on to say how, now it's going on to say the Wells family's history. So they confirm that it's in our DNA. They share DNA. Nolan Wells was an Israelite related to the legendary Ida B. Wells, bro. And he was sacrificed. Nolan was targeted. That's how white supremacists conduct ethnic cleansing and purging. That's how they conduct it. Ida B. Wells, yeah, this is very deep. It says Ida B. Wells was born into slavery on July 16th, 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't tell me that this is not orchestrated, that something like this is predestined some way to happen. See, when you start really doing the digging, you start really scratching the surface. Somebody says she died of kidney disease. There's no proof that Nolan's family is Boule, but they may be connected. Now, the Wells family could be connected to the Southern, what is it called? The Southern, what is it called? One moment. Because I've heard this group before. It was stated on the second page. Oh, the SCLC. That's the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I believe the Wells family was connected to them because most civil rights activists in Mississippi would have been connected to that. I don't see them being connected to the Boule. I haven't seen any proof of that. Normally, when it's Boule, you're going to be seeing a lot more hand signs. I haven't seen the mother or father doing any open subliminal gestures because in those groups, you have to show your alliance. I don't see any of them connected to any fraternities. I just don't see it. But could they have been connected to real civil rights activists? Very possible. Could that be the reason they were targeted? Very possible. Very possible. Now, is Al Sharpton connected to the Boule? I'm pretty sure he is. But nonetheless, that don't mean that the family got to be connected. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get the notoriety you need to bring awareness to the situation. Is Ben Crump involved in that? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Ben Crump. I haven't really followed his career to know whether or not he Boule or not. But I do know that I haven't found nothing on the Wells family. Somebody said they've worn black and white in the media. Yeah, I mean, that's a common color, especially when mourning. You know, that's just, to me, I look at that as just keeping it simple, wearing black or wearing white. But I haven't seen no overt symbolism. But this is interesting.
Stop, pause, read. Other one. Stop, pause, read. And the other one. Stop, pause, read. This case is just...
So it's a third one. Okay, yeah, they confirmed.
It's just too much. It's becoming too much for me to handle. Too much. Throat missing pieces, shipped upside down like a piece of bologna. Connected to historical. My head hurt. They don't say at this point.
It gets stranger and stranger. The deeper down the rabbit hole you go, the stranger it gets, y'all. I'm telling you, it just gets weirder and weirder. Now, all of a sudden, we know that Nolan's related to Ida B. Wells. You got this guy going on podcasts.
Well, Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. I mean, we had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do, you know? I mean, a lot of people do that. I could name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So, I mean, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but it's not like we just left him there or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
That's a damn lie. Because we got y'all on audio saying, calling while he's on that boat And we hear the young lady in the background saying, Nolan, Nolan. He's dead? Oh my gosh. He's dead. Oh, we heard it. Oh, we heard it. So you got Tatum over here setting his liar up. That's why I'm saying, man, they on code. Listen, first of all, why, if this is all going to a grand jury, it's just so weird. All right, this is all going to a grand jury. All the evidence is supposed to be concealed. These fools got lawyers. Who is this Warren right here? Why the hell is he on Officer Tatum talking while it's an open investigation when his family got him lawyered up? Something is wrong with this case, y'all. Who gave him the green light to go on this podcast and start running his damn mouth? He is not supposed to be, first of all, it's already going to court. He's already got a lawyer. Why on earth will he be on Tatum trying to curve public opinion of what happened when it's going to court? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Nothing about that adds up. That don't make no type of sense. They were so quiet. They kept everything so concealed. Now, all of a sudden, it don't make no damn sense. It's not logical. Now they want to come to the media? Why?
So I don't know who woke Nancy and her Baba, but Siston clocked in, and whoever had anything to do with this boy losing his life, just go ahead and turn yourself in. Your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your daddy, everybody who knows you should just go to the courthouse or go to the prison and just put the handcuffs on, because you're going to jail.
I mean, Nancy, she got a hell of a reputation. I don't know how true that is, if she's going to really be able to get this thing popping like that. I mean, honestly, with the things we brung out and our first couple streams about this, it should have been some arrests made. So I don't think nothing, unless Nancy is in the elite, global elite, and she's going to be able to sway some narrative or change. I don't got nothing happening.
Just like I said.
We seen that one.
Here, and it is coming out saying that the Cajun Navy asked if dogs could search the boat that I guess Nolan was allegedly on, and that they denied having dogs search their boat. Now, if there was no foul play, if there was nothing that happened, why would they refuse dogs to go on the boat? To obviously smell for wrongdoing? This is just new information. So I need to check and verify this, but there is a lot of suspicion. I saw Officer Tatum went down to that funeral and is calling Ben Crump and Al Sharpton a disgrace, and saying that he's got information that'll prove these boys innocent and that everybody's making it about race. But Officer Tatum is the true disgrace in this. But again, these boys refuse to let dogs on the boat, and we need to know why. If there was nothing wrong, why would you have a problem with somebody searching the boat, doing whatever they need to find out that there was no foul play? Let me know what you guys think. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world. I'm here.
I mean, it's obvious. They wouldn't let dogs search that boat because they know that the dogs would have either found drugs or blood. And it would have been evidence of foul play. And the whole community is on code. So they're not going to they're going to refuse to put any extra expenditures on this case. I mean, the warrants should be out right now. Now that this new audio has dropped, I don't know why the warrants haven't been released. This is an absolute joke at this point that nobody's arrested.
At this point, let's just wrap this up, because y'all are playing games. Y'all are disrespecting this young man's life.
People are just running with a lie. And it's so easy for people to believe it from the outside, looking into Mississippi's history, per se. But it's like, you're looking at history. Let's go to each state's history. I bet they're not the best with black people. Like, people change. You learn history so you don't repeat it.
History in Mississippi? We're not even going to get into the current data that exists in Mississippi that would demonstrate otherwise. Let's just talk about the fact that you were tokenized. Let's talk about the fact that they put you in front of cameras to prove that Nolan Wells was not the only black boy on the island, because there was also you. Let's talk about the fact that they put you in front of cameras before any of the 4 white boys who were actually present and could speak to what happened to Nolan. Instead, they chose you, the black friend. History.
The people that showed up for me my whole life has been my white side of my family. So for y'all to sit there and drag their name and to drag me down, and I'm supposed to be one of y'all, and you're supposed to have my back, and we're supposed to be in this together, and it's really eye-opening.
And there it is. There it is. Your white side of the family is your hero. Thus, you would never stand for anyone or anything black. We already knew you were compromised when they put us in front of you. We knew that. But now we can say for certain. I don't know how, but this is evidence.
Yeah, they got all the Sambo super soldiers coming to the rescue, including Officer Tatum. They're doing everything in their power to cover up what these savage beasts did to Nolan. They're doing everything in their power. And I mean, I don't understand how these men can sleep at night. I don't understand how, I don't get how they can sleep at night being cowards. At every corner, they spit shining the YT man's shoes. I don't get it. I don't understand what they think they're going to win. I don't know what they think they're going to gain from doing that. Well, listen, when this race war hit, only thing they're going to gain is a horrible death because your people are not coming to your rescue. You ain't going to have nobody to turn to. I don't give a damn how many followers Tatum got. I don't give a damn how many views you get. Doing what you're doing, yes, it's a spectacle. It's going to get views. But when it goes down and you don't have the respect amongst your own people, and those are the only people you can rely on, y'all gonna go to hell, man. Y'all gonna, them same cannibals, them same grapists that y'all been sucking up to, the same ones y'all been trying to defend at every corner while condemning us, them going to be the same people that's going to brutally murder you. I'm telling you, it's a losing battle. Look what these devils are passing. Let me show you. They're all about rituals and sacrifices.
Michigan has officially fallen.
Controversial vote by Hamtramck City Council tonight will allow the religious sacrifice of certain animals under strict conditions.
It's often practiced among Muslims during the holiday season known as Eid, or breaking of the fast.
Isn't this America? Didn't we have like a thing called animal cruelty laws? No, I guess not. This is absolutely wild.
Yeah, because they want to do their rituals. But peep this.
Why are y'all so adamant about him drowning? Coming onto my page spewing propaganda and misinformation and crap. Listen, I was trying to be fair until y'all started talking. I was trying to be fair until y'all reminded me of so many inconsistencies in y'all stories and y'all doing all the talking. To take us off the scent trail of Nolan Wells, stop. Just stop. It's now a cover-up. It could have been an accident. I think it was an accident. But the cover-up is going to get all of y'all. Watch. So let's talk procedures, because that was my premise of my argument. Do you remember, what's that young lady name? Casey Anthony? She was in handcuffs one day after her daughter was reported missing. Not for murder, but for lying. And what about that guy named Brian Welsh? He was held 4 days, and the charge, it was misleading investigator. He is currently serving life right now. And lastly, what about that Lori?
He's serving life for misleading investigators.
Vallow, that Lori Vallow girl who sat in jail for 4 months because before they even found her children. procedure. That was my argument. Procedures. It's called collateral charge. It's not saying that y'all guilty, but basic procedures. Every state has it. You don't need the cause of death. You need one person whose story that doesn't match or doesn't hold up. So Jackson County, did all accounts match up? No. Other witnesses' story match up? No. Stories don't even match. And if they match, why don't you publicly say so? If you flip the skin color, if 3 black teenagers came back from Horn Island and that one white kid didn't, their clothes would be in evidence bags. Their phones would be imaged. That boat processed from the stem to the stern with blood forensics or cadaver dogs before sundown. Everyone knows this. That was my argument. Procedures. Any state goes through its procedures. So you can't sit up here and tell us that a young dead man's keys and his phone shows up at your house on the coffee table near a gaming console. One of those young men's keys is in this bedroom, that their asses would not be taken downtown in custody for procedure. It's procedural work. Any law enforcement would do it. So miss me with your Mississippi white privilege. Mississippi law enforcement, you missed opportunity to test their clothing worn that day. You could have did forensic blood work, blood splatter. Procedures, damn it. Because you immediately said it was no foul play and likely said it was a drowning. So you effed up. You effed up what? The procedures. Did you test the boat? No. Procedures. What about the closing? Nope. Procedures. What about the house where the keys and the phone was found? Nope. Procedures. That was my argument the whole time. So don't come at me. Arrest these 3 gentlemen right now. Hell, if it was me, I would arrest them right now because of what? Procedures. I'll put an ankle monitor on them right now because they may skip town. It is a crime to know of a crime that you didn't report. Truth as no party, y'all be well. Why are y'all so adamant about him drowning?
I mean, and I personally don't believe it was an accident. I believe they murdered him and then proceeded with the cover up. However, even if it was an accident, like this gentleman eloquently put, y'all botched the investigation. The procedures wasn't right. You didn't do anything right. Y'all capitulating and acquiescing and going back and forth. Oh, they did call it in. Oh, they didn't call it in. Oh, you know what? It was no foul play. We're going to send the body off, but we're going to cut the throat out. We're going to take the lungs away. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was some foul play. Oh, initially we said, it was no chance of him being murdered. You know what? Now, on second thought, what? It's turning into an absolute circus. Robert Page, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Everybody who has showed support for the stream, salute yourselves. I was unable to shout some of them out because I was in my zone, man, getting this information out there. But I do appreciate y'all. Y'all know it really makes them angry when y'all come through and y'all supporting the broadcast. One love. But the more we learn about this case, the just stranger it actually gets. Seriously.
I found this scrolling on social media. Let me know what y'all think about this.
Okay, so Quan is saying, listen to the 911 call again. On the 111 mark, you can hear in the background someone saying, no, wake up, Wyatt, check his chest. So I ran this through my editing program. And listen, I am not a pro at audio by all means, but I did try to enhance the background so we can hear more of what was said. I'm going to feature just the parts where you can hear people talking in the background. I want to be very clear. This is my interpretation of the enhanced audio in the background. It is not a confirmed transcript, so please take this with a grain of salt.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Hello? Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like, guaranteed.
All right. Do you have a membership number? How many adults, sir? That was the question. All right. How many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right. Thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets available.
Did you notice that he said 7 people were on the boat and then they counted and it was just 6? Now another thing.
Because they threw that boy off of that damn boat. That's why. 7 people on there, but it was 6 at the end of the day. Hey, and you know what else is weird? Just the timing of this video coming out. I think they're trying to tell us what happened in a way where they're trying to make it look like an accident. That's why I don't question the authenticity of the video, meaning I know that the video is real, far as it being AI, but I question the timing. I just don't trust these people. They could have just staged this whole call. Like, look, we got our back against the wall. Let's just make it. We'll take the whole cover-up thing. We'll handle the cover-up situation. Don't worry about that. But we're going to make it look like these boys were just having fun and it was a horrible accident. That's how we're going to frame this. That's what I think is happening.
I noticed in the full audio, when the dispatcher called the captain of the Coast Guard, the captain said, I just talked to his grandpa and he said he doesn't need a tow.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island, and he's saying the boat is sinking.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat. And he said that, yeah, Jerry, yeah. He said, okay. I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic.
My question is, why is the grandfather saying, no, they're fine. They don't need a tow? And it gets even more confusing because on the Officer Tatum show, Warren was one of the kids on the boat. He was saying that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. But then he talks about how when they were leaving at 4:30 and the boat was having issues, they said, Nolan, get the F on here. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay back. So he would have saw him at 4:30 instead of 3 o'clock, right?
The last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Lying. That boy is lying, man. Lying his ass off. Regina Moore, thank you for the support. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. But this guy right here, he is lying. I can tell you right now, I can look at him and tell you he lying. He look like a damn liar. And so do Tatum. And I haven't even watched the whole interview. I only seen clips of this interview. And I'm going to tell you, all of it's wrong. Every clip I seen, he's telling a damn lie.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. But when we were leaving, Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that. He was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island.
So what is it? Is the last time you saw him at 3 o'clock with the girl or 4:30 when you guys left Nolan and he supposedly said, I'm good, I'm staying here?
So who was the girl in the background saying Nolan, he's dead? Who is that? Who is that?
What is it? This case is literally hurting my brain because nothing makes sense.
Let me know what y'all.
It's not meant to make sense at this point. Let me explain what's going on. This is all scripted. Yes, they sacrificed Nolan. It was a ritual. At this point, it's not meant to make any sense. That's part of the cover-up. When the FBI stepped in, and I'm going to say allegedly with all of this, but when the FBI stepped in, my theory is that they started operating on a psychological front. Here's the thing. They couldn't stop this story from blowing up. They could not stop this story from going viral, and we would not stop applying the pressure. So what did they do? They said, okay, public opinion is forcing this into a grand jury. But we already know how they get down. They're going to pay some people off. They're probably going to try to pay Nolan's family off. They probably going to try to work something out with Al Sharpton and, Ben Crump. And they're going to try to work something out behind the scenes. So the whole war now is let's confuse the public. Let's make this so confusing. Let's keep it, since they're not going to let this go, start interviewing the boys. Let's see how much numbers they can get. Put them on podcasts. Let's put them on popular podcasts. But they got lawyers. How that's going to get over? Anybody who paying attention know that doesn't matter. It's the internet. People just want to know the next click. What's going to happen next? Just put it out there. What we're going to do is we're going to put so much confusion information out there. It's going to boggle the people down. It's going to beat the people down. They're going to eventually give up. You know, they're not going to get any real answers. You know, they tried it with Malcolm Jamal Warner. When Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, they tried it. But, you know, hey, you know what we did? We just put out more confusing information, you know, more lies, throw some crisis actors in the mix. And, you know, we can move on to the next story. And you know, we could keep the machine going. And this can distract the United States from the fact that we just merged militaries with Israel. This will distract Americans from the fact that we got Agenda 2030 coming. This would distract them for the fact that in the next 5 months, there may be water shortages in half of America. Oh, we're going to distract them from the fact that while they're trying to find out this murder mystery that we already know, we know it's just a 4th of July blood sacrifice ritual. Hey, we do this every year. All the lynchings. Hey, listen, let's go ahead and give them some breadcrumbs, keep them distracted. We're going to treat this thing like a movie, right? Every other day, we're going to drop some new information, drop a couple videos. It's the perfect idea. Meanwhile, we're going to be taking over the world with this AI. Matter of fact, meanwhile, the entire world right now, you know what they're talking about? Not just what's the AI taking over. It's already been established that the AI is going to take over. Now they're just trying to brace for impact. They know the water shortages are coming. They know the data centers are going to dry up the land. They know that it's about to be austerity measures and war and poverty and famine and scarcity. It's just about, okay, they bracing for impact. They bracing for Terminator 2. Meanwhile, we're trying to figure out this case, and it's becoming bread and circus to a degree. It's becoming bread and circus to a degree. So it's like, look, whoever looks, listen, as much information as we can get out there is going to overstimulate the people. Meanwhile, guess what? We're going to be taking over. We're going to be committing genocide in Middle Eastern countries. We're going to take over the Gaza Strip. We are going to put Operation Agenda 2030 in place so these people will own nothing. And you know what? They're not going to be paying attention to it because they're going to go wherever we take them. That's what's really happening. That's what's going on with this Nolan Wells case. Now, Nolan Wells being related to Ida B. Wells is interesting. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that the family, they know what was going to happen. I'm not going to say that they set up the blood sacrifice. But what I will say is that Nolan clearly was targeted for a reason. He was clearly targeted for a reason. The Wells family was clearly targeted for a reason. And could it be their rich history, their DNA, their bloodline that made us rally behind them the way they did? The way that we, the people, rally behind them? Because sometimes our lineage and our bloodline attracts certain energy, man. Sometimes the stock we come from, history can repeat within our bloodline. Do you know how many revolutionaries become revolutionaries not even knowing that their family was revolutionaries? Because it's in the DNA. It's in the lineage. You come to find out that your forefathers were great kings and princes and revolutionaries and martyrs, and you don't know why you had people gravitate towards you or attracted to you or, rally with you. It's in your DNA, it's in your blood. And I believe Nolan was one of those people. Because in his death, something good did happen. And what happened in brink of Nolan's death is we came together. And we showed that we can support one another. And we showed the power of our dollar, that you just can't get away with murdering our people. We now understand that it takes resources to put the pressure on these people. Now, do I believe there's going to be justice for Nolan? I do not believe that. I believe there's going to be a race war. I believe after Nolan, there's going to be another story, and another story, and another story. There will be justice coming from the Most High. But when we say they're on code, we're not just talking about some little redneck, hills have eyes, yellow belly, slothful Budweiser drinking redneck hicks in Mississippi who are just some crooked ass, tight knit bastards. No, when we say they're on code, when we say the they we talking about is on a federal level. The they we talking about is the damn current administration. The they we talking about is the damn oligarchy. We talking about the fastest oligarchy. Nigga, they the ones who know about this Nolan Wells case. We not talking about just some small towns dumbasses who can't halfway cover up a case. We thinking we cracking codes. No, they just some damn dumbasses with bad hygiene and bad dental records. That's all they are over there in Mississippi. The ones that they ain't nobody. No, it's the fastest oligarchy. This is deeper than just those people over there. We wondering why we're not gonna get justice because the United States ain't about justice. It don't got nothing to do with. I mean, bro. And then on top of that, they want a race war. They want a race war. Man, I'm telling you, in this stream, y'all gonna be able to rewind every word I say, even though this is a current event stream. Yo, this is one of those streams that in a year from now, y'all gonna be like, man, Bree was dropping nuggets on this. Matter of fact, I'll say a week from now, you're gonna watch this video. If y'all come back and watch this video a week from now, whatever happened with the Nolan Wells case, you're going to figure that, man, Bree was 110% right. Now we do now see what this is. We see what this is. Man, look.
What did I say? What did I say? They're setting up the official narrative. Oh, my mom's a judge. We'll get away with it. Mom, the judge, is now setting up the official narrative. Nolan decided to stay behind. We don't know what happened. We don't know. We have no idea. The boys just showed up with his cell phone, but we don't know what happened to Nolan. He decided to stay behind. It's his fault. And then there was another one of Nolan's friends, another one of these little boys, talking about, oh, the group that he hung out with, they like to do certain types of substances, certain types of drugs. They are very clearly trying to set this up as, oh, Nolan was doing drugs and he overdosed and died. Stop hanging out with white people. Do not be the only black person in a group of white people. Nolan can't defend himself. He cannot defend himself now. They can say whatever the fuck they want about him, and no one can defend him because he's dead. This is what happens every single time a black person dies. Cyrus Carmack Belton, shot in the back, couldn't defend himself. Ran for his life, couldn't defend himself, and they got to say whatever they want at that trial. Nolan is dead, cannot defend himself. Carmelo Anthony, he's alive, but the fact that he defended himself, do you see what this is? Do you see how this goes? Mm-hmm. The Tamla, that sleepover, the only black person at a sleepover full of white women, marks all over her body showing she had been abused and bruised, and somehow fell over the balcony of the back of this house. But it was a suit. They don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. White.
Even the baby in the background agreeing, right? But it should be evident that they're going to get away with it. I mean, look, we're expecting equality. We're expecting a fair justice system. We're thinking on a level like, yo, we're looking at this like justice going to be served. Oh man, the Most High going to reveal what's going on, and the Most High is revealing what's going on. But you got to understand how big the picture is. It's bigger than just some small town people. This situation is on a, how do I word this in a way where we can really get it? They determine who's guilty, who's innocent, regardless of what happened. And we seen this with Tamala Horford over that sleepover. Listen, Middle America said those white folks wasn't guilty, no foul play, and that's what it is. They write the script. They make up what's going to happen. Listen, we're in their captivity. We're still in their captivity, and it's a reminder of it. This is why the Bible tells us to be set apart from these individuals. This is why we're supposed to have our own lands, our own country. This is why we're supposed to police ourselves. They own this. It's not going to be fair. They own it. I don't think people understand. We talk about Mississippi. Oh, racist ass Mississippi. America's corrupted. The entire America's corrupted. Why do you think, as chosen ones of the Most High, we feel the way we feel? Why do you think we see the world the way we see it? Why do you think we have this overwhelming, daunting feeling a lot of the times and just of extra guarded energetically? It's not just one state. The whole system. The whole thing got to be burnt down. This is why we're not getting justice for Nolan. This is why 13-year-old Daryl Lowry was just stabbed by 2 more white children and drowned. And he was in the custody of an all-white foster dad. A foster dad that brung in a bunch of white kids, and he was the only black. And they stabbed him through his lifeless body, stabbed him, cut him up real bad, and then drowned him just days ago. This is the reason why they did that, because they know it won't be no justice for Nolan. So hell, the battery is already in their backs. Julia said it. Julia Gordon said it. The whole head is sick. You said it, Julia. The whole head is sick. Ain't no justice. Only way is justice if you leave Babylon. Get up out of here. You're looking for justice in the wrong place. And I believe that the powers that be are getting a kick out of the fact that we're looking for justice. When has it ever been justice for a blood sacrifice? All the years that we've seen in Hollywood, and all the years we've seen in these strange phenomenons, these deaths that take place from Anne Heech to DJ Twitch to Malcolm Jamal Warner to Whitney Houston to Michael Jackson. And when the hell have you ever heard of justice being served in a blood sacrifice? Ever? Nolan Wells is the same thing. Only thing it did was create a spectacle and create new stars. Now you got the Nolan Wells boys, the friends, alleged friends, going on podcasts. Now it turned into an internet murder mystery when we all know what the hell happened. Now they didn't turn this into a TV show. Here it is. There was supposed to have been some arrests made, and they said, "Oh, we're just going to take it to a grand jury." What? When you think about all those cases, they're all unsolved. Think about it. Nolan Wells is the same. He's a celebrity at this point. We talking about Nolan Wells longer than we talked about Whitney Houston, who obviously was sacrificed as well, and she was drowned in a bathtub. Prince obviously was sacrificed. Hell, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, they say he choked on eggs, man. He was obviously sacrificed. I think Old Dirty Bastard was sacrificed. And the list just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Tupac, Biggie, blood sacrifices. And guess what? So was Nolan Wells. And we never going to get justice off of blood sacrifice. The first stream that I covered about this, I called it exactly what it is. And the more news that's aired, the more it's proven to be true.
Medical examiner might need the throat to figure out what happened. I mean, Joe Scott, it's on fire, claims that Nolan Wells had been lynched, that he had been strangled, asphyxiated. Do I believe a lynching occurred? No, I do not believe that. But I do know I need to see the neck.
Yeah, and let me tell you where the neck is. Or the organs of the neck, as it's referred to. These neck structures are actually being held by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office, and they don't just arbitrarily hold things like this, Nancy. This is something that would commonly go with the body when the body is released. So I deduce the fact that they have seen something there that they're trying to hold on to from an evidentiary value. Remember, the state still has an ongoing investigation in this case, and they see evidentiary value in this. And yes, I know that the second autopsy prosector up in D.C. would have liked to have seen this, but he understands this, why they would retain it. And it is being retained, I can promise you that, as are other tissue samples. But the problem is that when you get into these structures in the neck, one of the things you're trying to assess is, was this a drowning? Also, is there any kind of trauma? If people will just put their hands right here in the midline of your neck, you'll feel that kind of cartilaginous body there. There's cartilage, right? That can be fracture. Need I remind you, Epstein, right? So you have to examine this. Also, here's our word, Nancy. They're talking about the hyoid is missing as well. So they don't have that.
Show me Joe Scott Morgan, because show me Joe Scott. You and I, hyoid, we know what it is because you and I have handled a ton of asphyxiation, ligature, manual strangulations, you name it. Hyoid, explain. It's so delicate.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very, very far up the neck, Nancy. And one of the things that happens is that with the hyoid, it's generally only traumatized as a result of direct pressure that's generally applied by a throttling event or a C-clamp like this, throttling meaning like this, so manual strangulation. And an outlier here is ligature strangulation, but primarily hands-on. So they're looking for little fractures in here all along the way. So that has to be dissected along with these other, there's a couple of other structures that you look at as well. They've held on to this for some.
Medical examiner might need.
Now, according to that particular, I don't know who that guy is. I guess he's some type of doctor, right? But according to him, he doesn't believe in the whole lynching theory. And it honestly makes sense now that he was strangled straight up. I believe they took his lungs too, because I believe he was strangled and then probably drowned at the same time. Like it was probably some type of scuffle, but we don't know. We just know that he was killed. Somebody murdered him. We know that. We know somebody killed Nolan. That would be the only damn reason why his lungs and throat is still in Mississippi, while his body is in DC. That'll be the only reason why.
We are getting closer to knowing what happened to Nolan Wells. Now have the released audio of them calling in to the tow company, and in the background, you can hear what those kids are saying. They asked, is he dead? And they said his name, allegedly. But what we also know is that the grandfather of the boat owner, yeah, he called the tow company and told them they don't need any help. Remember in the beginning when the judge came out with her statement and they said that that boat had to be towed. We got the GPS. It's all getting ready to come out. The pictures of Nolan on the boat with the girl. The girl blaming the boys blaming the girl. The boys saying that they're best friends. Don't cry in the interviews when they're talking about Nolan where his body washed up. The governor talking about it. The attorney general making videos about it. Come on. It's getting closer and they know it. And the reason why they're doing all of this in front of the cameras is because they're panicking. And they're panicking because when this cover up comes out, it's going to be bad for Mississippi. They know it. We know it. It's getting closer.
Hell, it's already bad for Mississippi. Who the hell wants to go to Mississippi right now? Respect to all my foundational Black Americans there in Mississippi. And don't get it twisted. They not rocking like that. They on point. They stick together. They do stick together. They only can get our people when we are singled off and we veer off elsewhere. But far as Mississippi being somewhere where people want to go tour and vacation and spend time in it, but nobody trying to do that. And other than that, I mean, they don't really have nothing to lose when the whole country is ran on this damn satanic Freemasonic wickedness. They don't have nothing to lose. You got a YT supremacist in the White House. These people ain't worried about nothing. I'm telling y'all, Mississippi, they don't give a damn, y'all. We think that and I thought this before too, though. They scared us. They didn't want this to get like it got, but listen, you got Trump in office. Right now, I'm really trying to figure out, has the FBI made any more statements? Matter of fact, I got to go look this up real quick, y'all. Have the FBI even said anything regarding this case? I mean, it's been weeks since they allegedly got involved. I got something from Fox News from a day ago. It says they probe threats. The FBI, I mean, what's going on with them? This is enough to make some damn arrest. Let's go back. Let's go to YouTube real quick and see what the damn FBI had to say yesterday. I'm just curious. I mean, what are they going to do about all this?
FBI is investigating threats against the people who are with Nolan Wells in the hours before the Mississippi teen vanished and was found.
What? You gotta be bullshitting me. The FBI is investigating threats towards the people who allegedly killed him? You got to be kidding. America is speaking loud and clear, boy. So the FBI looking at people who supposed to be threatening them YT boys that murdered Nolan. The FBI ain't trying to figure out who killed Nolan. They trying to make sure none of us Negroes say nothing crazy online. Yo, you have got to be kidding me, boy. The FBI is like, look, we're gonna make sure you pearly white boys are safe. We're gonna make sure none of these damn gorillas and monkeys come after y'all. We're gonna make sure nobody chimp out on y'all. That's what we here for. Wow. I think I just heard that right.
Getting threats against the people who are with Nolan Wells.
Yeah, the FBI is looking for people who might be threatening them white boys. Oh my goodness.
Welcome back. The FBI is investigating threats against the people who are with Nolan Wells in the hours before the Mississippi teen vanished and was found dead. Wells, 18, disappeared July 4th after joining friends on a boat trip to Horn Island, a barrier island off Mississippi's Gulf Coast. Search crews scoured the area for 2 days before a National Park Service ranger found his remains on the island's northwestern tip.
Man, Babylon, a dirty one. A dirty one. Here it is. We heard the FBI getting involved. We like, oh man, great. You know, maybe they're going to figure something out. Maybe they're going to spend some resources trying to figure out what's going on. Hell no. Wow. The FBI, like, we're going to make sure these black folks don't bother y'all.
On July 6th, Wells' friends returned to the mainland that July afternoon without him, but Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter previously said investigators believed Wells chose to stay on the island. It wasn't until later that night that his mother learned that he was missing from one of Wells' friends and reported it to authorities. Mississippi's Department of Public Safety Commissioner.
All it took was that judge to play victim. That's why the FBI got involved, because you have a federal judge who played victim. Oh no, we got to get the FBI involved. Make sure these black people don't harm the judge. Don't harm them children. Wow. Only in America, y'all.
Sean Tyndall said Wednesday that the FBI is investigating threats made against public officials, the people who were with Wells before he vanished, and their families. Michelle Thomas is now joining us here on Live Now from Fox. Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So we talk about this case. The FBI is now investigating threats connected to the case. So what kind of threats can become federal crimes, and why would the FBI get involved here?
Well, anytime there's a threat regarding anyone's person, placing them immediate harm, there's going to be an investigation. But here, they may also be looking for racially charged threats.
You know how many racially charged threats I got when I started going in on MAGA? Damn, FBI, what was y'all at when all these YT supremacists was up on my channel talking about they gonna hang me and they trying to find my address? What the hell was FBI then? When I was going viral every week for going in on MAGA. So let me get this right. The FBI only protect white people. So they could just threaten us all day. These YT supremacists can threaten us all damn day. That's what I'm ascertaining. Right now, Nolan Wells' family are being review bombed because Nolan Wells' mother's a nurse. They done sent the white T supremacists on her accounts to start review bombing her, leaving her horrible reviews. Do you know how many threats that I publicly received? I mean, they were public. So the feds is protecting these kids. I think the FBI need to be destroyed, bro. The FBI is a damn joke in America. I mean, I'm dead ass. I can understand the reason for the CIA to a degree, but the FBI is a damn sham, bro. I mean, seriously. I can feel how I want to feel. I say that obviously they don't care. This is wild.
Given sort of the backdrop and what we've heard about in the public scrutiny, in the public eye, and with the backdrop and history of Mississippi, people are concerned about this case because of sort of the racial makeup and so forth. So if there are any kind of threats along those lines, there's going to be an investigation and possibly a federal one.
And when we talk about authority.
So they threaten to hit us with Fed charges if anybody, we're not even threatening their family. Matter of fact, we got one of these MAGA clowns in here now. Let me do this person a favor, y'all. Hold on. Let me add him to the block list. He in here calling names. I mean, let's get him. Let's do him a favor.
Got me fucked up.
Off into the shadow realm you go. Now, this is wild right here, man. Because they threatening Fed charges. Ain't nobody been threatening them people.
Is saying that witnesses, public officials, even family members have received some type of threat here or there. How can that affect an active criminal investigation?
So they saying they lie. Yo, who threatening them, y'all? Because the Wells family is not giving off rage baiting or racism. They didn't say nothing racist. They just said, look, we just want transparency. All I've seen was friendly protests from the Israelites and a few others. Who the hell is really threatening the judges and the damn police officers and the chief? And you see how they lying, bro? Fox News is lying their ass off, bro. The FBI only concerned about their protection. We thinking the FBI getting involved to help figure out what happened to Nolan. I can't believe this. I mean, I can believe it, but damn. They do this right in our faces. Trying to demonize us because they want to play victim. Ain't nobody threatening them people. The only threat is we asking for answers that they don't want to give. The only threat is us asking for transparency. The only threat is us putting our money together to hire some good legal representation. Master manipulating, gaslighting. Listen, them people with that daggone white DNA, man, YT DNA, and I ain't talking about the cool Gentiles that's really cool, our white folks that's cool. I'm talking about that Vladimir Impaler, that wicked serpent seed DNA. They some manipulative, lying, gaslighting weirdos, bro. Nolan ends up missing. Y'all go home, go get lawyered up, take everything off your social media, and then make a post and say, we threatening y'all. Listen, y'all removed social media before we even knew, before Nolan's body was even found, before Nolan's family even knew he was gone. Y'all was already lawyered up. Y'all was already off of social media. And now the FBI get involved because they want to demonize us. The only threat is we want justice. We're not even saying no justice, no peace. We ain't even saying that. We're saying, look, we're going to pay for the justice. We're gonna put our money where our mouth is. We're going to help. We trying to find out what's going on. We're going to look out for that young man. We're going to draw awareness to the situation. And we're going to donate. We did everything we can do. We did everything by the book. Foundational Black Americans did everything right. And these gaslighting, manipulative demons actually pulled the Uno reverse card off that. I mean, just to show how evil they are. It's so evil, they had to go get a Black woman just to even get on the news and explain this. You had to go get a Black woman on the news to explain this. You couldn't go get one of them to explain this. No, they needed a Black face to say, yeah, this is common, anytime threats are being made. Ma'am, you're getting paid to sell us upstream. I know it's just your job, but it's a bad look for you, sister, on the news doing this. This is a bad look. Look at this.
And that can be happening.
Well, any kind of law enforcement is going to follow any leads, and they're going to try to track any type of threat because they don't want there to be either witness intimidation or witness coercion. They want to make sure that they're able to preserve the evidence and witness testimony, and that persons with knowledge are able to come forward without feeling fearful. So it can taint an investigation and possibly a forthcoming trial if there are constant threats and people are afraid to come forward with the information needed to solve what happened to Nolan Wells.
And we saw the independent autopsy get released over the weekend. We still have a toxicology report, I believe, pending within the state of Mississippi. So it seems like there's still a lot out there that is inconclusive as of right now, and especially after Ben Crump and the independent autopsy that he released. What are we going to be watching for next?
So they're going to really try to piece this together, because what the independent autopsy said was that they cannot rule out any kind of foul play. It wasn't conclusive as to the manner and cause of death. That was still undetermined. But at the same time, it did not conclude that the death was accidental. And so therefore, there's going to continue to be an ongoing investigation. This information and evidence will be presented to a grand jury, and the grand jury will determine whether there's probable cause for a criminal trial, for there to be an indictment and a criminal trial to proceed.
And when you see a cause of death listed as undetermined, from a legal standpoint, what does that mean for the case and the investigation moving forward?
That means that they cannot conclude decisively whether this death was a result of either.
Hell no, you can't conclude it, because Mississippi still got the damn throat. Bro, this is, man, you really can't make this up. I wanted to know, what is the FBI talking about? And they on their side. Well, we knew that. They probably even helping with the cover up. Let me see. God's Property says, Nubreed, just like they use black folks on commercials to push the shots. Yeah, that's how they operate. This is crazy. This is why I don't believe justice is going to be served. Just how this is going. Just how this is going. And I hate to say that, man, because we put our money up. We put a lot of awareness to it, but you know what? The whole head is sick. I'm at the point where I'm not looking for justice no more, because I don't believe it's there. And I don't believe it's going to come. Honestly, the way this is going, I just don't believe that America is going to do the right thing in this situation. If they were going to do the right thing, they would have done it already. If they were going to actually do the right thing, it would have been done already. Justice will be served, but I don't think it's going to be served by a court of law. I really do not. Just the fact we seeing those white boys, those YT boys on the damn podcast already curving public opinion, they're not going to jail. They are not going to jail. They're not going to jail. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all heard it here first. They're not going to. They did it. Oh, they did it. Allegedly. They did it allegedly. But they did it allegedly. They ain't going to jail. No. It's already too much out. The investigation is already botched. I'm a realist. The investigation is botched already. They officially covered this up, and they successfully covered it up. They struck again. We got another damn Tamala Harford type of situation. Now the family, they got paid. You know, it's going to help with the grieving process. I don't care what you say. Financial security and financial freedom will help you process some things a little bit better, but it's never going to replace your child. It's never going to replace your child. However, the family, they're mourning. They did get paid, but as far as arrests being made, ain't nobody getting arrested for this murder. It was a murder, and the whole country damn know it. But, you know, the way I see this thing, I will be shocked. And I'll be the first one to go live and be like, yo, they actually got him. I will be shocked. I would not. I'd be like, yo, they locked up. Because first of all, you're going to have to lock up a lot of people. Yeah, who gets on podcasts and talks about an open investigation after luring up, unless you know what the hell you're there for, unless you know. Who does that? Nobody does that. Nobody in the real world does that. Nobody's lawyer would do that. Allow him to get on the internet. And I'm not saying this is over. We're going to have more updates, but I'm going to make sure that I'm covering everything that's going on in the world in between this story. But who in the hell goes on a popular podcast while you have an open investigation that's going to the grand jury and you have a lawyer? It makes no damn sense. Unless they just don't plan on justice being served. There's going to be some kangaroo court. There's going to be some payments made behind the scenes. It's just not, it's not going to go the way we think it is, y'all. It really ain't. Somebody said, who do you think is going to be sitting on a jury? That's a good question. That's a good question. I believe that case is going to be very secretive. It's going to be very secretive. We're not going to know we ain't going to know too much about what's going on day to day when that thing goes to trial, when it goes to the jury, grand jury. And it's not like a traditional trial. It ain't like we're going to be previewed to a lot. Yeah, this is giving off publicity stunt at this point. This is giving off just weird. This is just getting completely weird. Yep. I'm telling you. Well, it is what it is, man. I want to thank everybody for joining. Yo, we always have these powerful discussions. Like I said at the beginning of this stream, the more, hold on, let's actually full screen it. Like I said at the beginning, man, the more we learn about this case, the stranger it gets. The stranger it gets. And I want to thank y'all for y'all's continued support. Without you all, the good people, there would be no Nubreed Global Truth. So I highly appreciate y'all's presence. I would like you all to support the work via Cashapp. Nubreed Global Truth is the Cashapp, exactly how it's spelled on the channel. One word. Your support is highly appreciated. Also, feel free to support HebrewCare.com. Get all your natural products and essentials, as well as NubreedGlobalTruth.com. And I want y'all to have a blessed evening. Stay safe out here. Rest up. More material coming. Tomorrow is Motivational Monday, so you know how we get to it. One love to y'all.